Meeting. Welcome to Beaches Watch, our December meeting. This is one of our favorite meetings, actually, because we get to honor an organization here at the beach that what they do is they help enrich the lives of our citizens here at the beach and improve their quality of life as well. So we're really excited about our speakers tonight. I'm Maria Mark, I'm president of Beaches Watch. So we are happy that you're here tonight. Just a couple of announcements before we get into the program. So as you know, we're a membership organization, so we are also in the early bird registration period of time, so you can renew your membership now, between now and the end of the year, and you'll be in the drawing for a basket, a raffle basket. So our membership dues are $5 for students, $15 for individual, and $20 for family, and our ladies here at the table as you walked in will be happy to take your money tonight, or you can go online and join on our website. Your donation and your membership really supports our meetings like this for general programming, our Give Back Award, which we are doing tonight, and our Fletcher High School Fran Sharp Memorial Scholarship, which we award a senior that's graduating. It's a $1,000 scholarship. So any donations or your membership would be greatly appreciated. Okay, so we are videoing our meeting tonight, like we always do, and it will be on our YouTube channel and on our website on Friday. Just a slight delay. Usually it's the next day, but we have a slight delay. So our YouTube channel, which is Beaches Watch 2012, and then of course our website. As I said, our membership drive is on, so please consider joining or renewing your membership. Any elected officials? I did not get the sheet, but no? No, okay. We do have our former elected official, Carrie Chen. Carrie, thank you for your service in Neptune Beach City Council. I appreciate your time. MJ's the elected official? Okay. All right. Also, as with our December meeting, it's also considered our annual membership meeting. So we have 3 board positions that are coming up for renewal. So if you are a member of Beaches Watch, you can vote on this. We are looking to reappoint myself, and my term will expire in 12/31/26. Our treasurer, Sandy Golding, who's unfortunately not here tonight, but her term will also expire on that date. And we have to reappoint Ellen Glasser, and her term will also expire on 12/31/26. So, if I can get a vote on reappointing these 3 positions, unless there's someone from the floor would like to nominate someone. Come on. No nominations? Okay. All right. Close the floor for nominations. So if I can get a vote approving the 3 board members by the sign of yay. 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 Any opposed? Okay. Wow. Passes. Okay. We're back for another 2 years. Thank you very much. Okay. And our upcoming meeting, which is in January, it will be January the 8th. This is our State of the Beaches meeting, where we'll have all 3 mayors to report on this year and what's going to be coming up in the next year. So just real quickly, we kind of like to know how you heard about tonight's meeting. Anyone on Nextdoor? Facebook? Newsletter? Newspaper? Beaches Reader? Website? Friends, neighbor, word mouth. Okay, good deal. So we will go ahead and start with our last year's recipient, who was our Beaches Community Kitchen. And we have MJ Brown, who is going to be giving us a recap of what the Give Back Award did for the organization last year. We're going to try and pull up some pictures. This is sort of what we were working on, and hopefully we can maybe do this. So, MJ, do you want to use we have a wireless mic there, or you can stand here, whichever you prefer.
Okay. Well, firstly, I want to thank everyone who got us our award last year. It has meant so much because it got our name out. People have never heard of us. We're 33 years old and on the beaches for 33 years, and there's many people, most people don't know about us. So, and then one of the reasons is we don't really go out and fundraise. We just believe we're going to get what we need. And that's worked for 33 years. We have always had food somehow, and we keep growing. But what's happened this year, it's really strange because when there's hurricanes, we always work hurricanes. We'll try to get it in the eye, go out and get ice or water to people, you know. So this hurricane that came, Helene, they kept saying, of course, they didn't know how bad it was going to be and when it was going to come. And so then they were closing the facilities where we have our kitchen. We rent the kitchen. So then Friday was coming, and they said, well, you can't come and work. You know, and we were like, well, this has already been Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The people need food. And they're like, well, you know, somebody will help them. And I was like, there's nobody helping them. And so I decided I found that I was unstoppable. It's like I'm not leaving people without food for 3 days and nothing's going to stop me. But we couldn't get in our kitchen to get food. We couldn't get in there to get the equipment we needed. And I was getting a little panicky. Can't imagine that, can you? But I usually just can remember it's going to work out, it's going to work out, because it always works out. And it did work out. It was just very expensive because there were not many restaurants open. And so we spent a lot more money than we usually do. But they had pizza. Everybody had pizza, and they loved it because they don't ever get to pizza. So anyway, that worked out. But somehow after the hurricane, the restaurants, it's mostly Chick-fil-A, shout out to them, and Trader Joe's and Whole Foods are the restaurants that usually have all the food we need, and it just works out. Well, all of a sudden, I don't know if the picture can come up, but the shelves. Yeah, all of a sudden when we picked up our foods, I don't know if you can tell what that is. That's like empty. That is our big, it's called a walk-in. Yeah, it's called a walk-in refrigerator. It's like, we usually can't even fit everything we have in there. And this is what we all walked into. There's nothing there. But today, we pick up on Tuesdays. And this Tuesday, we got a lot. We got enough, for a meal. We serve about 100 people 3 times a week. And we have these large meals because and we have a sandwich to go with it. And it's a little brown bag, and everybody loves that because we remember brown bags. And you just never know what's going to be in there. Lots of fruit. But these last few weeks, we haven't had the fruit, we haven't had the lettuce. Anyway, it's been really shocking. But I don't want to make it, it's not anybody's fault. I'm not trying to blame anybody, but it was just a shocking thing. But it's working out, and we're finding other sources, and it's all going to be good, and everybody is definitely taken care of, and we will never be stopped if they say, we had it before a situation on Christmas, and they said, you can't come in your kitchen. So yeah, this is some of our meals. They're amazing. They're really big, but it lasts like 2 days usually. I mean, it's set to last for 2 days. So we have that meal, and we have desserts usually in a separate thing, and our brown bags. So anyway, the thing that has just meant the world to us is because you're an organization who's watching. You're watching to see what's happening. What are these people doing with all the money that they're raising? Who are they helping? And so anyway, and we're expanding just because people are coming to us, and maybe handicapped people. We have this woman with 2 young children who just came to us, or was referred to us. She's young, she's maybe in her 40s, but she's been paralyzed all of a sudden. And she's got these 2 little kids, 4 and 6. And she can't cook, she can't even walk. And she does have a husband, he's an EMT, so that's a really handy thing, but he can't work with he's taking care of her, and they don't have any home health care. And anyway, we just have all these situations that are coming to us, and the way we are, maybe it's just me, but we can't say no. And we can't say no, you don't live in the right zip code, we can't help you. And so we have always been known as being for elderly, and we do that, and we do it really well, and we love those people so much. They're not those people, we love people so much. So anyway, we take care of the meals for the homebound, which gets very confusing, homeless, but homebound are people who don't get out. And Dial Ride does a good job, but you have to have certain abilities even to do Dial Ride. But anyway, everybody's very happy. They're afraid to complain because they don't want to get taken off, but we wouldn't do that. So I have my one complainer that she's allowed because I'm like, we have to know what's not right with our food, and nobody's telling us. So anyway, I have our official complainer. But anyway, but it just, you gave us like this extra boost that we hadn't had in years, because we're just the old, it's been there forever. They take care of it. They don't need us. But it made a huge difference. With people, volunteers, which we always need, and some younger people, and just people. Well, actually, the quarantine helped us a little bit because there were so many people at home that were able to volunteer. During the quarantine, we never missed a day. Most of our people are over 70. We never spread any COVID. We did get people that got it, but they just stayed away from everybody until they were over it, and they came back, and we just kept going. We're ever-ready battery people. I just thank you so very, very much. And I love Habitat for Humanity. They're a wonderful organization. So I think you make good choices. Thank you.
I'm just one of the new kids on the block. I mean, this lady here has been doing it for probably 30 years, and it's just amazing to think that we serve over 100 meals Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's all volunteers who get the food, as she said, from the various places. But we have a kitchen crew who comes in at 8 o'clock on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They cook the food for us drivers by 10 o'clock to pick up that hot meal and a lunch. We also have a crew of volunteers who come in on Tuesday. They prepare all the foods. They do the chopping. They plan the menus as to what we will be preparing the hot meals for everybody on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And it's just a whole team operation because those people, those 90 to 100 people that we serve the foods to, they wouldn't have any foods otherwise. I mean, they do get some donations from places, but otherwise they rely on Beach's Community Kitchen to provide them with a hot meal as well as socialization. That's the one thing that many of them, because they live at home alone, they don't have the interaction with other people, and they don't have family that are in the area, so they rely on Beach's Community Kitchen or some other groups who come in. And I mean, I've become friends with, I've been doing it for a couple of years, and one of my clients, I take her cat to have the claws trimmed because she can't drive anymore, but the cat needs to have the claws trimmed. Or take her garbage out. It's just things like that you just feel it in your heart. You're just glad that you can help them because we're just all here for a reason. And the main thing is to help others because we're so lucky that we can. Thank you, Bill. Thank you.
I have a question for MJ. MJ, how are people referred to you who need your services, or how do they find you?
We're careful with that because when we put an ad, something in the paper about us, people called who wanted. but don't need it. So we are a little under the radar. But how they do get us is somebody sees what they're going through. It's even been mailmen that have noticed that people aren't getting out to collect their mail or whatever. Or neighbors are usually really good. But well, sometimes neighbors think that the people need it, but the people that are actually getting the food, like people that are the greatest generation, they don't want to take food and they need it. And you know, like one of the men was crying because his wife said, no more food from us, but they just aren't receivers, they're givers. They're fantastic people. But anyway, so sometimes that works with neighbors referring and sometimes it doesn't. And then we get doctors, social workers. We love social workers. You know, I feel like they really know what's going on. So, you know, friends, family, sometimes they're like the daughters who want food for their dad. It's like, what's wrong with you, you know? Why can't you take care of your dad or take him food or whatever? And we had a weird one. The lady wanted food for her husband, but not for herself. And I was like, now wait a minute, where are you eating? And actually the day that I went over, her first day, I saw her leave the back, the wife leave the back, got in a car, drove away. She looked all nice and everything. And then I took the food up, and there was like a medical person there with her. And so he had somebody watching him, and she had nobody watching her. Anyway, just joking about that. You know, but it was weird. Like, you know, why can't you just feed your husband if you're feeding yourself? But actually, they canceled really soon. I don't know why. I didn't say anything to them, but, you know, God worked it out. So anyway, and we have people, if anybody would like to even do that, go out and interview people. Or sometimes you can know on the phone, because it is hard, especially the way we don't like to say no to anybody. But you do, you have to. So anyway, we had a guy that tried to buy meals from us, and we were like, no, we don't. You're well, and you can go and do things, get out. And so then we never made a real decision. He was older, and he had some qualifications, but anyway, so we kept doing it. It's been more than a year, and he hasn't given us, he just gave us his first donation. This is the guy who wanted to buy our food, but he's been on our food for like a year or two, and he gave us a couple $100, but we don't require it, so it was nice that he did that. Yeah, we just try to make them realize how lucky they are if they can still get out and still drive and all that kind of stuff.
Do we have a website or anything, so if somebody is interested in volunteer?
We have Facebook. Facebook, Beaches Community Kitchen, DCK, is what it means. You know, it's just such a long name. If you can find a shorter name for us. Because it's not just even meals, what we do for them. So, I don't know. It started out Jack's Beach Community Kitchen, and then we expanded so we're all the way to Mayport to Ponte Vedra.
But if you're interested, though, I can give you, MJ, you can give your phone number, so that if anybody is interested in becoming a volunteer, it is something, because we need volunteers regularly, and so it's sort of a commitment that you make. Or you can be a substitute also. It doesn't even have to do it all the time, but we do always need drivers, people who prepare the food, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and we all meet at the Beaches Church. They're nice that that's where they allow us to use your kitchen.
Can you tell what her specialty is? She's a volunteer recruiter, yeah.
So we'll get your name.
So also, we have, like, sometimes groups come in, maybe a church group or a neighborhood group or a business comes in and it just has a thing to do fun together. They'll come and cook or whatever they want to do for a day. So that's kind of fun. We have Rotary is amazing for doing that for us. They come every federal holiday. But we have 2 holidays coming up which are on a regular work day. It's Christmas and New Year's. Christmas Day and New Year's Day on a Wednesday. And the people from Wednesday said, we're not going to be here on those days. And I'm like, don't worry about it, we'll cover it. So I'm asking if anybody wants to do a family thing together and do Christmas morning. We had it together. We had, it was mothers and sons, and they were all these little mother and son groups. And so we got together and we sang, we wish you a Merry Christmas, and did the work and went our merry way. And it was really fun. Thank you for the question. That was a good one.
Are there any other questions for Jay?
Chair.
I'm Chair. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything you guys do.
Our community and our citizens.
It's
Yeah, I mean, we were so excited to discover you ourselves, you know, and
It was great. It really gives the extra,
just a little bump there,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
That's great, that's great, and that's, you know, that's the intent of the award, is to give back to the organizations that give so much to us.
yeah, it worked for us.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Okay, I don't know, this food's making me hungry though. We'll have to take it off the screen.
You are
Okay.
the official bee.
And now, happy to announce our 2024 Give Back Award recipient, which is our Beaches Habitat for Humanity. I don't have to say a lot. Judy Coppell is here representing Beaches Habitat. Thank you for being here, Judy. And I will not steal your thunder at all. You're going to be close. So if you want to come up. And you're welcome to
I wish I
use.
could talk here.
Do you want to use the microphone or you want to talk from here? Whichever you.
Oh, you got a hand. You can tell I was an old school teacher and I'm used to being with my students and not back behind. Before I start talking about Beaches Habitat, I'm going to say that I know about MJ and the work they do with Beaches Community Kitchen because I'm also one of those Oceanside Rotary volunteers that goes on federal holidays and does the cooking. And if anybody hates to cook, it's me. But they've got plenty of jobs for everybody to do. And are you leaving, MJ? Okay, I'll catch up with you via a phone call. Because Beaches Habitat, I don't know how many of you are familiar with them. I've lived in the beaches community since 1961. So that was 63 years or something. And I really didn't know a lot about, I knew nothing about Beaches Community Kitchen until I was involved in Rotary. And then I knew nothing, or just a little bit of things about Beaches Habitat when the development Ocean Gate was constructed at the corner of Mayport Road and Atlantic Boulevard. Those of you who have been around a long time ago remember what was there before. It was a rundown, dilapidated, abandoned apartment complex. And Ellen probably remembers that well as do I. It was a haven for prostitution. It was a haven for drug dealing. There were efforts to try and revive the Mayport corridor, and that piece of property was a stumbling block to helping Mayport Road be what it needs to be. And it's, to me, exciting now to see that even further efforts are being made in that Mayport corridor. So when Ocean Gate was built, I became more aware of habitat, Beaches Habitat. And we had a number of Rotarians who also were active. Jackie Smith was on the board for Beaches Habitat. We had an annual golf tournament that we co-sponsored with them and so forth. But as far as knowing their work, I really did not know it. And there's some misconceptions about Habitat for Humanity and Beaches Habitat. First of all, it was not started by Jimmy Carter. That, in my mind, that's all you heard was how Jimmy Carter, at age 90-something, was still building houses, etc. I can't remember the name of the man who did start Beaches Habitat and Habitat for Humanity. He owned a farm in the North Georgia area, Koinonia Farms, and that was where it began. There's also a misconception that Beaches Habitat gives these houses that we construct that they qualify for, and nothing could be further from the truth there. People who are selected for habitat housing do have to be considered low income. Their annual income of their household has to be less than 80% of the annual median income for our community, for our beaches area. If they qualify, they have to pass a background check, they have to have good credit references, they have to have good credit score, and then if they qualify, then they make a small down payment and work with our staff to develop a mortgage with mortgage payments that they can afford. So it's very much individualized after they've gone through the search process. Then we know pretty well that most of the people who in fact get one of the homes that we help construct have passed all of the checks that are necessary to do a good job. So not only do they have to pay a mortgage and a small down payment, they also have to contribute 30 hours of sweat equity in the construction of the home. Now those 300 hours, they could do it themselves, they could get other family members to help, but when they've invested in the construction of their first home, it means something more to them than if they just bought it outright. I mean, those of you who are parents and raise children, you know that when the kids had to work for something, it meant something more to them than if you'd given them to it. So that's another piece that many people do not understand. How many Atlantic Beach residents are there here? Well, maybe a few of us. If you've had a chance to go down Mayport Road, going towards the Mayport Naval Base, and shortly after the Holiday Inn in the Auto Line used car dealership, you will see a big vacant plot of land that looks like something's going on there. It's recently been cleared, and they're now working on the infrastructure to put in roads, to put in sewage, to put in water, all the things that will be necessary. And we will be building 44 homes on that property, beginning shortly after the first of the year. So we're in the process now of taking applications. It's going to be a long process. We only have 6 full-time staff members on our Beaches Habitat staff. So those 6 people can't build 44 homes overnight. What really makes Beaches Habitat work are the volunteers that come and help. Our skilled volunteers or volunteers that our staff can teach them to do, but the volunteers are the ones who make the difference. And we have some houses that are built strictly by women, and they call it a women's build. And those women work just as hard as those guys that are out there climbing on the roofs and everything else that's involved. Our area churches send groups in, just as they do with MG and the Beaches Community Kitchen. We have churches and businesses that send in teams for team building. With some kind, they come in 8 o'clock in the morning, stay till noon or 1 o'clock, and contribute their time as well. So it's a wonderful organization. So when I was asked, as I said earlier, I started out as a school teacher, and taught one or were involved in education for most of my life. But I've learned so much from the 5 years that I've spent working at Beaches Habitat. I think I've become one of their salespeople, and encourage all of you to learn more about it if you're interested in volunteering. We clearly could always use your help, and we'll find a place for you with something that you would enjoy doing. So, are there any questions? I'm delighted tonight to accept this award from Beaches Watch on behalf of Beaches Habitat, representing Steve Gilbert, who is our CEO. Steve very much regrets that he could not come at a board of directors meeting. And since our board of directors only meets every other month, each month is very important. So I stepped up and said I would be happy to come. Okay, if there are no questions, yes, sir.
Yeah, once a family occupies a home, they have a mortgage, etc., how does the maintenance and upkeep of the home dealt with?
They're responsible. Each of our
Can you repeat the
communities.
question? Judy, can you repeat the question so we can get it on?
Yes, the question was, once a homeowner purchases a home, what happens then in terms of the maintenance and upkeep? Each of the complexes or groups of homes have a HOA, homeowners association, and in addition to their mortgage payment each month, they pay a fee into the HOA's coffers, so that air conditioning breaks down, there's funds there to replace them. Okay. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Who are you? What's your job?
My job, well, like I said, I really did not. I apologize. Judy Poppel. My job is, I'm a grant specialist. I'm the only grant specialist they've ever had. I was working at UNF before I took this job, and it just so happened that the CEO at that time was also in the Rotary Club with me, and called me one day and said his board wanted him to hire a grant writer. And I thought he was just asking me to give him some names, but that wasn't what he wanted. So I thought about it, and I said, I'm sure if you give me the weekend, I can come up with some names. And then he put on the sales job. So, but I've been there for 5 years, and it was the right thing for me to do.
And that's how it's funded? I mean, I don't know how it's funded.
How it's funded, largely funded through grants. We have a couple of major fundraisers during the year. We just had one in October called Beach Bash, and that's one of the annual ones. We held it at ABBQ here on Atlantic Boulevard, the barbecue place. And that, it's really kind of cool. A number, oh gosh, I want to say probably 15 or 20 local restaurants participate. And they come in and bring their specialties and serve them to the guests who come to Beach Bash. So you get a chance to maybe try some food from restaurants you've never been in before. And we've got music and a silent auction and all of this. That's a major thing. We also get grants like the ones that I write to corporations and all kinds of people. And then federal grants. There's federal money out there for low-income housing, and we apply for that as well. So it's a number of sources. We get some straight donations. This development on Mayport Road that's going to have the 44 homes, some of those homes have been spoken for by individuals and businesses that want to be sponsors for those homes. And so we then just fill in, with smaller donations for the rest of it. So it's a variety of sources. Yes, Jackie?
Also, builders donate their time
Oh.
and their, yes, I mean, that's a huge thing.
Yeah, Home Depot and Lowe's I've gotten grants from both of them. We got $110,000 a couple of years ago from Lowe's, and there are a couple from Home Depot. There's one that focuses on homes for low income and for veterans, and another one of their foundation homes. And then builders look like let's see, what is, Builders Care is one of them. I'm trying to think the names of the others that donate and to us. Well, we've got window companies that donate windows to us, you know, a variety of. So yeah, that's it.
Judy, can you talk about the new proposed development? Is that going to be similar to what Ocean Gate is?
It's going to be very similar. It's going to be attached
Attached homes,
townhomes,
okay.
like the townhouses that are in Ocean Gate. That allows us to get the greatest use of the land, so we can serve that many more families than if it were single construction. There's another area that you may or may not, and this was finished before my time, so I don't know exactly how many are there. But if you're going off of Mayport Road at the junction where it forks and you go off to the left towards Mayport Village, there is across from where Mayport Elementary School is on the other side, another development that Beaches Habitat built. And those are a mix of single-story homes and townhouses. But there was a lot of land there, so it was not, the need was not as great as what we're dealing with on Mayport Road. But there just really isn't much property left in the Beaches community. Okay, Jackie.
Tell them about our helping veterans and older people with home, you know, to repairs.
That was why I need to talk to him too, because we're having a hard time getting to all of the people who need our services, senior citizens and veterans who need home repairs. We've got some wonderful stories to tell about seniors who actually are living or did live in deplorable conditions with wires strung across to make the electricity work, plumbing that didn't work. I mean, it was just awful. And so we need some more people to refer to us. And so I had read in some of the Habitat literature that some of the Habitat staff in another community rode along with the Meals on Wheels delivery person, because they're there a lot and they see the conditions these people are living in. And so I'm going to pick MJ's brain and see how we could work out something like that here. So,
And I think that's kind of what the award is going to help fund, is your home repair program.
Yes.
Right?
it's going to help fund the home repair program, but I think when talking to Steve today, he now is wanting to do something with the volunteers in the volunteer program. These people are so dedicated, and if we could do something that just make them feel good and give them some recognition, we'd do that. But we badly have a need in the area for repairs.
I have 3 questions.
Okay, I can answer.
I probably misheard, but I thought when you were talking about the family sweat equity, I heard you say 30 hours, and then right after that you said 300.
300 is, yeah, 300 is correct. I misspoke.
Okay.
Okay, second
And then
question.
how many houses are in the ocean, whatever it is?
Ocean Gate had 79,
Okay.
and we pretty much filled that up too.
And when the house is done and the family occupies it, is that the end of the Habitat for Humanity connection?
Yeah.
Do you,
All during
if
the
they get
time.
in trouble and they can't make it work? Do you
Well,
coach
then
them?
we try and work with them. We've gotten funding from some wonderful sources to help with families with delinquent mortgages that occur because
That has to
of
happen.
tragedy. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, we got some money for COVID because of that.
Yeah.
But, you know, a spouse dies or someone becomes critically ill and the income is reduced. Yeah, so we work with them individually.
So, and by we, you mean some of this
We have,
volunteers,
no, not volunteers, we have a staff,
a paid staff?
a paid staff that work in our little building on Mayport Road. And one of them deals with finances, another one who's our main point of contact is called the Family Services Director. And the family services director knows those families. She's a Beaches resident, she's lived here in Atlantic Beach her whole life. And she knows of these families and some of the families that we have been helping. And so, yeah, we work with them. I don't know of anybody that's been put on the street because of it. Yeah. Anybody else? Oh, number 3, okay. Okay.
About how many volunteers are, I have no idea.
There are, over the course of a year, we have hundreds of volunteers, probably close to 400. But that counts the 20 or 25 people that come from Bank of America that want to volunteer on a Saturday. So
It
but
might
then
be one day or it might be
Yeah,
every
but
week. Yeah.
But then we've got some others, mostly men. I've talked about the women's build and the women who are involved in that, and a number of others. They just come, they just like the camaraderie of working with the other volunteers and like the work, like
So
the
they come all
grants.
the time.
Yeah,
You've got like
yeah.
a foreman volunteer and a.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we have these special volunteers that come in, maybe for once or twice, yeah. And it's interesting, they come in and they may be coming in with a group, a church group or something else, and they get their feet wet, and then they come back and sign up. But those are usually people who are no longer working that can do that. Those of us who are still in the workforce have to do our volunteering on the weekends, so yeah. But many of them come back then, once they
So
retire.
it is all the time?
Oh, yeah.
Volunteering, 7 days a week,
Yeah,
building?
building. Mondays usually are not, we give them Monday off.
Mondays.
Because they come in on Saturday and work with these other groups that can't come during the week. Okay,
Any other
anybody else?
questions?
Does the same group do the repairs as does the build, or are those kind of like 2 different worlds?
No. We have one staff member who is the lead person for repairs. And he is one of our most experienced staff members, and he's got a wonderful personality for working with people. So he is our lead person, and then depending on what the work is, he'll bring in volunteers. We are in the process now, and this one we had to do as if it was new construction. And this one was special to me because the man whose home we're working on was one of my students when I taught 8th grade math at Fletcher Junior High many years ago. And Randy's family owned 2 houses side by side. I can't remember how many children. They had a huge family. And the houses eventually, I think first was damaged by a hurricane and couldn't be replaced, and then they squeezed everybody in. But the house got so bad he could no longer live in it. His parents were gone, and he was living in a little travel trailer on the front yard of the lot of that house. So someone had referred him to Beaches Habitat. And when they said this was this man's name, I thought, gosh, I wonder if that's the same guy that I taught when he was in 8th grade. And sure enough, he showed up. His house was in such bad shape, it was demolished completely and started over again. And he is taking out a mortgage. He's going to deal with it as if it was a brand new home. But
You're going to help them
and we're
with
going to
that.
help him, yeah.
I'm going to work.
Of all things. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
I assume that you are selling these homes below market value?
Oh,
Is
we
that correct?
have to.
Okay.
Yeah, that is part of what we do. And the way we save money is because the labor cost, and then all of these donated materials and everything else. So we can build a house for a lot less than if somebody was on the open market. Yeah.
And what happens, what commitment is there from that family
And that-
not to sell?
Right, all right. I'm glad you mentioned that because when this gentleman asked, I was prepared to answer that, and you didn't answer. There is a agreement that's signed, a memorandum of understanding that is signed at that home, that they have to remain in that house for at least 5 years. And at that point, they can sell the house like anybody else. But they can't turn around and
Anyone-
move in and flip it.
Anyone can come and buy it and move into this community, this
One-
habitat.
Yeah, once the homeowner, once we've sold it to the homeowner, he can then sell it after 5 years to whoever he pleases, yeah. Doesn't happen very often, because they can't turn around
And buy
and
it.
buy anything else. Okay.
Judy, well, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome, Maria.
Steve was right. You did the better presentation.
We won't.
It'll just be on the video. but-
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you all for coming tonight. I know December is a very busy evening, or busy month, I'm sorry, and we were keeping our fingers crossed that we were going to have it here because they were having furnace problems and thought that it was going to be too cold, but it all worked out, so. Anyway, this is our last meeting of the year, so wishing you all happy holidays, safe travels if you're going anywhere for the holidays, and just a reminder that the meeting will be on our YouTube channel and our website, and follow us on Facebook, this is our website, and we look forward to seeing you next year, right? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your election.